All right, let's wrap it up. Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Chargers. Cowboys coming off the beating against the Niners, but they're favored by 2.5 going up against the Chargers. Back-to-back West Coast games for the Cowboys here.
Back-to-back West Coast? Well, the last one went so well. So
yeah, not so great. I know our friend Bob Sturm last week talking about the Cowboys. I can't remember the exact stat that he said, but the Mike McCarthy era has not been – they haven't been many losing streaks.
Right.
There's been bad losses, but they usually don't put 2 back-to-back. And as bad as it feels for the Cowboys, it's – you have to remember they're still a very good team. They've they might just – are they either just like a terrible matchup for the Niners or they're just in a different tier of good team than the Niners? I think it can be both.
Yeah.
But I think it's important maybe not to overreact to that one game against the Niners.
I think it was both, and that was the problem, is they ran in there. They're potentially overmatched anyway. Like the 49ers right now look like a pretty unstoppable juggernaut. But I also think they had a bad game plan. Like they went in with this sort of let's do what we do, not what's going to work to combat what they do. And it didn't work. It really didn't work. But I feel like the Chargers are actually not a bad matchup for them. Their defense maybe is ticked up slightly, but it's still pretty rough. So you would expect Dallas to be able to get something done against the Chargers defense, which was part of the problem. Like, had Dallas been able to go toe-to-toe and, put some points on the board against San Francisco, maybe things wouldn't have gotten out of hand on the other side of the ball, and Dallas's defense wouldn't have sort of reached the point where they're like tapping out, just trying to get out of the game as they were. So from that point of view, I think they're going to put up some points against the Chargers. They'll probably have some success. Now the question is, how does their defense do after getting embarrassed and really beaten up, bullied?
Chargers coming off a bye. Last time we saw them, they were beaten up on Aiden O'Connell, but still only beat the Raiders by 7 in Aiden O'Connell's first start. It was the first real signs of life from Khalil Mack. He had 6 sacks in that game. The pass rush was much better. As much as I was trashing the Broncos defense earlier this show, Chargers defense has not been good this year.
No.
But I'm expecting better, right? Like I'm expecting them to turn a corner at some point. And I don't think they play the Chiefs in week 7. It might sound weird, but I feel like the Chargers have as good a chance as any to finally get over the hump and beat the Chiefs this year. I still think they're a very good team. This is one of the awesome games this week, I think. Love that we get to see it on Monday Night Football. Justin Herbert against a good Cowboys defense. They just got torn to shreds by the 49ers, but it's still a very good defense. This is good matchups on both sides of the ball here. And the best part is we're going to wake up Tuesday morning and Brandon Staley's going to either be a genius or get fired because he went for it on 4th and 1 from his own 6. Right? That's what's going to happen. That's going to happen on Monday Night Football, right? It's going to come down to there's a 4th and 2.5, and Brandon Staley's going to go for it. And it's either going to win the game or like Dallas is going to hit a chip shot field goal to win it instead or something. That's what's going to happen on Monday night. It's going to be great. Hear Troy talking about the analytics and what it says, and it's actually going to agree with Brandon Staley, and everybody's going to be mad that it agrees with Staley. It's going to be awesome.
You get the feeling Joe Buck just irritated when he has to mention the word analytics,
Nah, Joe's great.
He sort of, I don't know, the way that he articulates the word analytics, sort of, you get the sense that it annoys him, that he even has to bring it up.
That's his normal tone, man.
Yeah, that's possible.
That is just the normal tone.
I'm going Dallas.
You're taking Dallas? Do you have a heart out right now?
Not right now, but it's coming up soon. It's coming up.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
I expect – I'm torn here because I expect the Chargers to get better because it's the Chargers. Got to have faith in the Chargers.
Do you?
Until they break your heart. So I expect them to get better.
Okay.
But I also don't want to overreact. Dallas bounces back, man. They bounce back. That's why they're favored by 2.5.
I think they bounce back on offense, certainly. The question is going to be like how good a job does their defense do against the Chargers offense, which I think is a pretty good unit. So that to me is like the side of the ball that's going to determine it.
The part of I can't figure out the Cowboys though because why is Brandon Cooks not a part of the off? Why can't they figure out Brandon Cooks? Brandon Cooks was QB proof his entire not even QB proof. He's had good QBs,
right.
But it didn't matter. He always produced every system, every situation.
And then,
Why?
I don't know. To an extent, I think it's because they don't necessarily need it right now. Like in the games where they've done well, they haven't needed Brandon Cooks, and in the games where they haven't done anything, I don't think Brandon Cooks was changing that. The other dynamic at play here is Austin Eckler comes back for the Chargers almost certainly, and I do believe he makes a significant difference to that offense.
He ran like crazy in week 1.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that just wants to believe in Dallas bouncing back, but the other part is my Chargers favoritism. I'm going to the Chargers here. I can't wait for this game on Monday Night Football. I think it's a great matchup.